There are 12 principles which we intend to, 12 principles which we intend to share with you for the next 3 days. All those principles are actually selected on the basis of how they empower you to be a transformational leader. So what we are trying to produce out of you in 3 days, although that is only part 1, is the kind of leader who is transformational. And all of you, you cannot be called a senior immigration officer if you are not a leader. Would you agree with me? Yes. So there is somebody you are leading. Are we together? Now, again, we'll come to it in a little while when the machine works. But please understand there's a big difference between a manager and a leader. A manager, and I was a manager for many years. I was in the university 50 years ago, so I've been a manager somewhere or the other for the last many years. A manager is a person who produces results through others. That's the definition of manager. Somebody who produces results through others. The people who work with him are called subordinates. They are called subordinates because if they don't do what the manager says, there are consequences, isn't it? A leader is totally different. A leader is a person who is followed by people voluntarily. If somebody is following you because of the consequences, you are a manager, not a leader. I mean, we are not suggesting that management is a bad thing. All we are saying is that you don't call yourself a leader. You say, if you don't do it, utaniona, you have declared yourself a manager. Because then you are treating the person as a subordinate. Leaders have followers, managers have subordinates. So the moment you become a leader, the people you work with are not called subordinates, they are called followers. But that's where the trouble begins. Because if somebody is a follower, it means he's the one with the power, whether to follow or not. Leaders are very weak. Because what will you do? It means to choose whether to follow or not. And if I choose not to follow, utadu? That's why it's much more difficult to be a leader than to be a manager. And in these next 3 days, we are trying to say, I know your title is manager. I know you are paid because you're a manager. But can you please try to transform yourself into a leader? And there are many, many benefits of being a leader. Number 1, when you are a leader, it's easier to work with your followers. Why? They have come willingly. So it means they are happy to go with you, isn't it? Yes. A story is told by a friend of mine that he went to Israel on a visit, and he was on a hotel somewhere high, and he could see the farms. Then when he woke up, he saw a shepherd getting the sheep out of where they were sleeping. And he remembered many years ago he was a shepherd boy. So he got interested. He was dressing, he stopped dressing just to watch. In Africa, and if you came to my place in 1960s, I used to be a shepherd. I used to look after sheep. When I want the sheep to go to the grazing yard, I go inside. I don't just open. I go inside and I twanga them until they reach where I'm going. Don't pretend you also didn't do the same. But that's the normal way here. Am I right? Yes. By the time you arrive where the sheep are grazing, the sheep are in pain and you're also tired. That is the definition of a manager. He'll get the results done, but the sheep will be in pain and you'll be tired. Transfer to the John chapter 10, the biblical shepherd, which he tells me he saw practically. As he was standing there in the hotel and looking down, he saw the guy after opening, he just started walking. And he is walking. And the sheep are following him. He comes, they come. See, he had never seen something like that. They followed him until where he stopped, and they started grazing. By the time they are there, the sheep are happy, and the man is not happy. That is now leadership. And you need to ask yourself, will you be a manager or a leader? Of course, we have to admit right at the beginning that when there is a crisis, it's difficult to act as a leader. In a crisis, you act as a manager. But surely you cannot be in a crisis permanently. There's something wrong if you are permanently in a crisis. So you need to start looking at yourself as a leader. And remember, leaders have followers. So the critical thing is, in the next 3 days, is to tell you, what can you do so that people agree to follow you? That's what we are discussing during the next 3 days. My task.
Yeah.
My task will be to give you the first and most important principle. If you want people to willingly follow you, in whatever it is, area of leadership you are involved in, and it is called character. It is called character. And it will be important to understand then, character is not something that can be forced on you. Character is a choice. Whether to have good character or bad character, the choice is yours. But somebody told us choices have consequences. But the choice is actually yours.
You need to have the
And I want us to start at that level, looking at leaders. And I want you to, in groups of three, starting three. My sister is the first one, so three. And I want you to discuss the following issues. Then you report back to us. Remember, this is not a seminar. It's a workshop. It's called a workshop because you are going to work. So, the first question the three of you have to discuss. The first question you are going to discuss is, who can you credit with who you are today? Who has influenced you to be who you are today? Can be your father, can be your mother, can be your MCA. No, there are no MCA when you are young. They are called counselors. Now, whatever, tell us who has influenced you. Question number 2: which particular value did he influence you in? In other words, you are like him in this particular area. What is the value he influenced you? Number 3: what is the evidence that you actually have that value? You can claim to have it, but give us what evidence you actually have that particular value. The last question is back to the leader. What in him made you attracted to him so much that you could copy his value? What was in him? Because if you discover what was in him, you now know also what to do for people to follow you the way you followed him. Are we together?
Yes.
Now that's the exercise, but you have only 5 minutes, so don't debate. Remember, you are telling your own story, so there can't be any, no, you are not there. So accept whatever you are told.